Good morning, and welcome to this Facebook Live on the second part of acceptance. And today we're going to look at acceptance in terms of arguments or disagreements or any sort of really challenging conversation. And as we mentioned a little bit last time, acceptance is not just kind of going with where things are at, but it's recognizing basically life on life's terms. It's recognizing here's where things actually are at. So I think one of the first things that would be really helpful in terms of applying acceptance to these difficult conversations or conflict arguments, what have you, the first thing I think is to look at, are they right? Even though we might get mad or angry, upset, what have you, about what someone else is saying, one of the reasons we might be responding that way is because they might actually be right. And if they're right, why keep arguing about it? We need to have a very different approach than if they're mistaken or if they're intentionally trying to offend us. So the first step is to take a step back and look at, are they even right? Regardless of the answer of that question, I think the second thing to look at is what other things did I do that added to the conversation? And that's regardless of how justified I am in what I did. I could be 100% right and correct, but maybe I could have handled it in a little bit different way, or maybe just walked away or ended the conversation. So, are they right? What else did I do that added to it? And then, taking both of those together, what can I do different next time? So, if they are right and I was upset by what they said and I escalated, well, maybe next time I take a step back in the middle of the conversation. When I start to feel a little frustrated or irritated, I make a shift then. Or maybe if they're not right and I just was really frustrated by what they were saying, well, is there a more effective way that I can have that conversation? And sometimes there isn't. Sometimes the conversation might have gone as best as it can. But I also think that a lot of times there are additional things we can do to help the conversation or the disagreement proceed better. And acceptance looks at what actually happened in that conversation. Not what I hear them say, what were they actually trying to convey? How did that impact me? Are they right? End of the day, are they actually right or are they not? And what did I do to contribute to the conversation deteriorating however it did? And then given all of that, what can I do different next time? And when we apply acceptance in this way, it can really shine a light on how to have a more effective conversation with that person next time. Whether that's a different approach we can take, different steps we can take, or maybe even it's just how to really minimize that conversation. But if we don't have the acceptance of that conversation and of how it went and our part in that, there isn't that room to change.